35192, want to get a text in for something. AlanCoxShow.com for all the other stuff. Alan, my wife is where is that? My wife is a big part of the Speleological Society. She does a lot of new cave mapping and exploring. It would be very difficult for anything to live and survive in that environment. Mary is crazy. Thanks, Brent.
Okay, Brent, but if a cave explorer, such as your wife, were to break a leg and get trapped in the darkness, it could survive off of her body for 6 to 8 months, is all I'm saying.
Oh, it could. Okay. That's how it works.
You have to think that, barring that, there's no sunlight, there's no food, there's no water.
It's not going to decay, really.
What's
the
not
body?
Decay?
I mean, the body is not going to decay as quickly.
No, how would the subterranean cave monsters subsist?
They are like the fish in the deep ocean. They don't really have eyelids. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like
there's no food down there.
People die.
Who
not
dies?
That often.
Cave explorers. How do you know?
Because they would have search parties looking for them, and then they would
okay.
invariably come upon the cave monsters.
Here's
I want
where
you to
they
sell
get their
this to
food.
me.
Here's how they get their food.
Yep.
Dead cave explorers.
Yep.
Number one.
That's the number one source of food.
Yes. Number two.
That's the number one. So over
they
these
can go. They're like camels. They're like camels. They can go weeks at a time without food.
Dead cave explorers.
Deceased spelunkers.
Yes.
They're munching on them nonstop.
Number two.
Yeah.
They survive
okay, hold on.
Patagonia gear.
Yeah. They love goose down. You don't know.
Yep.
Number
and Cliff
two.
Bars.
Yeah, the goose down insulates their stomach so they can go months at a time without eating. Number two, where are the most bodies hidden? Caves. So,
wait, how did you? I would say cemeteries.
No, hidden. People know where the bodies are in cemeteries.
Well, hidden doesn't mean you don't know where they are. It means you can't see them.
I mean hidden, like.
You mean surprise? You don't know at all that they're there.
When people are murdered, their bodies are hidden in cave systems. I'm not kidding. There's a whole thing about this, about how like Kentucky's cave system is like where most of the missing girls are right along the Kentucky cave system.
But if you went back to find them, you would not find them eaten. You'd find them having decayed.
Because they eat every part of it.
Oh, the bones. But you're gonna find the skeleton.
No, there's nothing left. They eat the bone.
But then they find the skeletons.
Fiber.
But then they do eat all the fiber that's in bones.
So these
all right.
skeletons that are in the Kentucky caves.
There's no skeletons.
You just told us there were.
No, there's no skeletons. He was on Team Skeletons.
No, you just said.
I said they find remains of people. If they go missing in the caves, they'll find remains.
Maybe that's just a picky eater. I don't know.
Oh, so there's like vegan cave monsters.
Yeah, some of them don't like the bones.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't speak for every cave monster.
Well, boy, that's really gonna be survival of the fittest among the cave people.
Also, we don't know that they don't have a digestive system that could handle rocks and dirt. There's got to be soil.
Then why would they attack humans?
I'm saying in between feasts.
Do you know what a tardigrade is? They call them water bears.
No, I don't think you're allowed to say that word anymore.
They're very, very small, but these things can live in anything. These would have to be tardigrade level survivors.
Yes.
But those are also microscopic.
That's right. They're so small.
Tardigrades
they can go without eating for like 100 years or something.
They can live in space. Like they're the one type of life that can survive in almost any situation.
They can live in lava.
Yeah. I don't even know. I don't know about that one though.
Alan, last year my fiance and I went to an attraction near Red River Gorge in Kentucky where you can kayak or paddleboard through a cave. Only creatures down there are the trout that they stocked it with. So there you go.
There you go. Stocked cave trout. That's number 3 on their list of food sources.
All right.
I'm just saying.
I know you might be onto something.
But that's not the depths of a cave.
It's not impossible. Evolution is real, right? You two are men of science. You believe in evolution. Mm-hmm. So why is it so crazy to think that a type of species has evolved to live in those types that environment?
Because bipedal hominids have evolved to live above the ground, not below the ground.
They're not humans.
People aren't. Well, you're saying it's an evolutionary step beyond us?
It might. I don't know. I don't know that. I'm not a scientist.
Well, it would have to be. If it had evolved to live subterranean, it would somehow have to have skipped us on the evolutionary ladder. How would that be?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
I love where your head's at. I mean,
you adapt out of survival. Like in order to survive, you have to adapt. And so in order for them to
if we all had to live underground, which we someday will, we'll have to adapt to that. But
Right.
if you don't have to,
Maybe you will.
But they
I'll be
do.
dead.
Alan, please ask Bill if Carl's cave was good, because if not, it was Carl's bad cavern.
You stink!
Right.
It was. We had a great time. It was a great cave.
Sure. As caves go. Alan, I had open heart surgery in 2018 and unfortunately watched the descent in the hospital. 2 days later, they had to come in and check on me because my heart rate was going through the roof. Yeah, maybe it's something that won't mess with you so much. Hey, let me talk to Mike, who checks in frequently with us from the west coast of Ohio. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, Alan, hate the show.
Thank you, sir.
I got two things for you. First, I didn't want to back up too far, but you guys were talking about the tanks and bridges and kind of destroying the infrastructure, collapsing tunnels, and that's just hogwash. That's crazy talk. I saw a structural engineer on one of the news stations over the weekend going through this, and he was saying that the infrastructure problem in Ukraine is mainly due to the giant balls of the Ukrainian defenders and having to take those big steel things over all this ground.
Oh, okay. Their testicles are made of steel, you're saying? Brass, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
But there is some temperament that's actually needed there because, obviously the Russian military is a artillery first one, and so they haven't really fired anything. They could level everybody very quickly. So I think the worst is yet to come there. I will say how inspiring it is to see, everyday people pick up arms and really, it's galvanizing. You think what would happen in the United States if we were attacked. But then I think about, standing next to Mary Santora with an AK-47 and Poundcake making Molotovs in his backyard, and I kind of get a little worried for everybody around.
Why?
If you know what I mean.
You think I don't know how to use a gun?
She's going to be adapting along with the subterranean cave monster, so I don't know what you're worried
I
about.
already lived underground.
She did.
You forgot.
She did. Yep. She was subterranean for quite a while.
Of course I adapt.
Subterranean homesick blues.
Yeah, and so the last thing I got for you, Alan, is in depths of caves, Mary's actually might be correct.
Yeah.
Not that there's monsters or crazy things like that, but there has been a lot of recent discoveries, like checking for water deep in caves, like high pressure, high or low temperature environments, and they're finding a lot of new bacteria, a lot of new viruses. I think that this planet right now is ripe. I don't think we're at all ready as humans for a global pandemic of the likes that nobody's ever seen. I mean, this could escape out of there. It's really scary stuff. Who knows what would happen?
No, listen, he's right. Thank you, Mike. Insightful as always. I appreciate the call. Thank you. Alan, why would someone try to hide a body in an environment where it's very slowly going to break the body down? They're kidnapping people. You're not going to hide them in a moist, cool environment because those bodies are going to be discovered relatively quickly.
No, because they're hiding them deep into the systems.
Somebody's walking them down and hiding bodies deep in the cave system.
Yes. I feel like there was a whole documentary about this, about where the most missing persons that are reported in the United States are always along cave systems.
Okay.
And so that's just a coincidence? Or are these people taking their bodies, chopping them up?
They're feeding the subterranean.
Feeding the subterranean lava-proof cave monsters.
I got to tell you, I think she's bringing me around to this.
Alan, it's just, listen, it's just logic.
It is just logic, isn't it?
I'm
not big on logic, but it's just logic. All right.
Listen, if Betty White could feed the alligator her husband in Lake Placid, is it really...
It was a huge alligator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a massive beast that lived in a lake.
I'm just saying that...
And popped up. It wasn't no subterranean creature.
These serial kidnappers could be feeding their subterranean counterparts, missing persons in the cave systems.
But aren't cave systems always near a body of water?
I don't know.
Or there are bodies of water? I mean, isn't that what creates caves over the millennia?
No, I don't know.
Or rushing waters?
No, I think you're thinking of
so there would be
the glaciers
tributaries.
creating the lakes.
Listen, we're really batting around a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows?
No, I have no idea how caves are formed.
The term you're looking for is a non-zero chance.
There's a 1-0 chance.
1-0 chance. Okay. Hey, Tyler.
Hi there.
Tippy Canoe and Tyler too. What's going on, Tyler?
Awesome. Not much. You guys are mentioning all kinds of like humanoid type subterranean monsters, but the movie Monster Trucks clearly says that the subterranean monsters are kind of squid-like, and they form and shape, and they move all kinds of things.
What is the movie Monster Trucks?
It's actually a kid's movie, but they are drilling, and they dig into a underground lake that is connected to a bunch of cave systems, and these undiscovered cave monsters appear, and it's
I think it's getting away from you, Tyler.
it is.
It's under the cave truck.
It was on Disney Plus. Okay, well, thank you. I'll check it out. There's Tyler and Ashland
What did you just send us, Bill?
talking about
So there's a map that you were talking about, I think, where it shows cave systems and missing people, and like how there's correlation between them. But it's kind of misleading because that's just focusing on people that have disappeared in like mysterious ways.
So what? They're still missing.
Right, but that doesn't account for all missing persons.
I never said all missing persons.
You said that most people missing in this country are...
No, I said that it was there where where there's a lot of people reported missing is usually near cave systems. Those two numbers those coincide. I didn't say all missing people end up food for cave monsters. That's crazy. I would never say that.
But that's
that would be crazy.
It goes against what you're saying because they're not showing all missing persons.
But you also did say that the subterranean creature's primary form of sustenance was missing people.
Yes.
So that's the same thing as saying all missing people.
No. I'm not saying that all missing people end up in caves. I'm not saying that at all. That was never what I said.
You're saying that the ones that are in caves get eaten by the subterranean.
Yes.
I see.
And because large numbers of missing people happen to be near where cave systems are, that's how they can sustain life.
Caves are formed by the dissolution of limestone. Rainwater.
That's so upsetting that it gets dissolution.
Yeah,
Kramer versus Kramer. It was tearjerker. Rainwater picks up carbon dioxide from the air, and as it percolates through the soil, turns into a weak acid.
Get it percolating.
So that is some weak acid. Next time you're in one of these caves, natural acid in groundwater that seeps through rock and enlarges to become cave in cave systems.
So
limestone.
Acidic rainwater makes caves?
Well, I guess. I don't know. I'm just looking at cave things. Hey, Woody.
Cavefacts.com.
Yeah. .org.
Alan.
Yes.
Alan, how's your day, brother?
So far, so good.
I just want to let everybody know, do not take the cave acid. I want to do a PSA on
Yep,
that.
thank you. Yep.
Do not take the cave acid. You guys are talking about, before you got off on your cave tangent, you're talking about tunnels and bridges. And, I don't know if you know how the vast tunnel system underneath Lake Erie is for the salt mines.
Right.
Yeah, and there's been 12 earthquakes out here on the east side, out on the lake, a couple miles out.
I was reading about that. Yeah, been a lot of earthquakes.
Yeah, and it's so weird because when I first moved out here to my house out here on the water, I had this very vivid dream about a giant earthquake, and all of Lake Erie's water like fell into these salt tunnels and turned Lake Erie into a giant sea of salt, and it was very vivid, and it was just kind of a creepy thing. But yeah, I don't know what's going on out there a couple miles off the shore, but there's been 12 or 14 earthquakes out there. It's pretty waiting for the big one, I guess.
Sure. Well, keep your eye open for those tsunamis, Woody.
Yeah, I got my life jacket underneath my bed.
All right, good. All right, thanks, pal.
All right, cheers, guys.
And that's when the chuds came at me.
Oh, Homer, of course you'll have a bad impression of New York if you only focus on the pimps and the chuds.
That's Poundcake's assessment of New York, as it's just pimps and chuds. And he doesn't want to add to either by one.
You have been quiet during...
I don't like New York, even though I've never been there.
I
don't
always,
like it.
but I don't hear any good thing. Any
You
good
don't
things.
hear any good things about New York.
No, I don't.
I don't hear good things about New York City.
People,
Broadway.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
everyone who lives
don't
there
hear
or comes
good
back
things.
here, they're like, it stinks. The traffic's always horrible.
Yes,
like,
it's a
always,
massive, massive city.
billion
It's
people
not
there.
Cleveland, right?
There's rats everywhere.
Yes.
Everybody's mean.
Yeah,
Everything-
everybody's mean everywhere.
they said
What do you care? People are mean. What are you, 5?
I'm relaying what I heard. I have a couple friends that lived out there and live out there.
Yeah, well, your friend sounds like a real pud. I haven't heard. I don't like New York.
People are
There's too
mean.
much traffic. And I don't even have any skin in the New York game. But boy, it's funny to hear somebody
Floods
say
all
that.
the time.
I don't hear good things about New York. Yeah, all right. Well, there you go.
Hurricanes, not nice tropical weather.
Where do you fall on the cave people discussion? You haven't said anything.
Oh God, bring him into it by
Well,
all
he hasn't
means.
said
Well, last
anything.
week he was all about conspiracy, so I feel like he's got something to say.
No, I don't think there's anything down there in the cave. I like exploring caves. Like, that's not a part of my phobias. For whatever reason, I have a lot. I'm not paranoid about a cave. I feel like the cave was settled and formed way before I existed. Why would it cave on me now?
Cave is a place of refuge for
It is.
Cody.
I'm like this has a foundation. Like, this has been forming for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It would take I must be the most unluckiest person in the universe.
Most unluckiest.
in the universe.
in the universe
Universe.
for
Yep.
a cave, for my one time visiting this cave, for it to collapse on me. And I know
You
I'm
also
unlucky.
believe that a semi truck might run you over on the beach.
I don't remember the context.
So
of that.
clearly, I know, but I'm just saying, clearly your mind is open to all kinds of wacky scenarios that might you might meet your demise.
I don't even
What if
remember
it's
that scenario.
It doesn't even have to be the cave that collapses. What if a stalactite falls from the ceiling
Yeah.
and just runs you through?
Yeah.
That's a rock icicle.
Again, but I also believe in fate. So if I was at the right place at the right time and that happened,
What if
I
you
would-
impaled
that-
yourself on a stalagmite?
Yeah.
Forget the stalactites. What if you fell? You're barely capable on your own 2 feet. What if you fell forward and impaled yourself on a stalagmite?
Whatever happens in that cave was meant to
Sodomite,
happen.
stalagmite.
Stalagmite
dragon.
soiree.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
I didn't want to be impaled this way.
Yeah, no. That whatever happens in that cave was meant to happen.
Did we get the mites and the tights right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, stalagmites are the ones.
That come,
Come
up
up.
from the ground.
Yeah, right? And stalactites come down.
I don't know.
The cherubim are the ones that hang from the top of the cave. The seraphim are the ones that come up from the bottom of the cave. No? Yeah, you got stalactites and stalagmites.
No
I've been
idea.
in a cave like once or twice in my life.
So you will, and I know that we have established this numerous times, but I just still like to recheck that box. You will deprive yourself of all manner of experiences because something bad might happen to you.
Not all of them. I travel. I just have my limits on like.
You just said you don't want to go to New York because there's rats and traffic.
And
I-
mean
I-
people.
And
And mean
smells.
people.
I never said I didn't want to go. I just said I haven't heard anything good about New York. Everyone who I
Maybe you should hang out with more different people or more people.
but who to get the info from other than people
How
that
about
live
you-
there?
Right. Listen, there's people who live there who don't like it.
Yeah, they don't
But
like it. They're
they're
like they
pl-
live there for work.
Yeah, but you're not going there to work. You're going there to visit.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to visit.
Okay, well then, but yeah, just from what I'm hearing from these people, they're like, it stinks. There's like the trash is literally piled up 2
Yes,
stories
that's all,
high.
that's all true. But there are also things there that you can't see or do anywhere else.
And the one guy was like, oh, and the gays won't even look at you. They won't even look at your direction.
Everyone's hot.
he was like they go into the
Everyone
club.
is not hot in New York.
I feel like New York. Okay,
LA
hot maybe isn't the right
is-
term. Everyone's fit.
and fashionable.
In
There's
New
no,
York
there's
City?
no fat people.
Dude.
Do with all the walking you have to do.
No,
There
there's plenty
are
of fat people.
plenty of fat people.
Where were they when I was there? Or maybe I didn't notice them.
You're not noticing.
There are
them.
fat people everywhere. It's an East Coast city. It's not Los Angeles or Denver or Portland or.
I felt like I was overwhelmed by the amount of thin people that were in New York City.
Because those are the ones that are catching your attention.
Yeah,
There's fat people everywhere.
And
there's also
15 times more people there than there are, So, yeah.
Maybe that's just the people I was focusing on.
Yeah.
We're like
Yes.
hot businessmen.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Thin men in
dress is
suits.
better.
I was like,
There are
look at
fat
this.
people everywhere.
All right, well, don't get mad at me about
No,
it.
listen, any East Coast city is going to have inclement weather where parts of the year people are hunkered down inside eating chips.
I love chips.
To wit.
But I don't want to go somewhere where the gays just won't even look in my direction.
Then don't go.
I don't know. I want them to acknowledge me.
This guy.
You're not from here, are you? No. We can tell. And then they just give me the cold shoulder.
Cody.
So what?
They won't even offer to buy me a drink.
Does it ever occur to you that you might have to work for something in your friggin' life?
No! Absolutely not.
This guy. He's hoping to get by on a wink and a smile. Good luck.
New
Aren't we all?
York, New York.
Aren't we all? Doesn't work out that way. All right, listen, I got to take a break. Enough of this. If you want to text for something, 35192. I'll see those. AlanCoxShow.com if you want to watch and listen anywhere on the iHeart